Welcome back to L&D Design. Today we have another declutter, organize, cleaning situation. I'm going to be tackling my craft closet today. And I'm not excited about it because there's so much stuff in there. So I have a craft room downstairs that's more like storage for things, but I have a craft closet and some of this system right here upstairs, which is where I do most of my crafting, because my craft room is very, very tiny and not finished and not pretty. So I'm going to be tackling my craft closet, which has gotten out of control. Let's take a look. All right, here we are, ladies and gents, my craft closet. This is actually our coat closet by the front door, but we come in through the garage, so we don't use it as a coat closet. It was organized once upon a time. I thought I was doing really well. Not so much anymore. Let's take a look at the other side. There are some hoodies in here I need to move, but it's seen better moments for sure. So I just want to pull everything out. I want to get everything organized again, declutter some things. Some things are going to be going downstairs in my craft room, which is kind of like my overflow storage or things that I don't really use a lot. So yeah. There's just stuff like thrown.
So I just wanted to start off by taking everything off of that left side so that I can kind of start making piles here and get that area cleared out. I started with that side just because there was less stuff, less overwhelming. And now I'm just kind of making piles, a pile for storage containers, getting my teacher bag together. I'm making a pile for trash, donations, home decor, different stuff like that. So as I go through the really cluttered side of the closet, I kind of have a general idea of where I can set the different items because I already have started to make different categories. You will see as the video goes on, though, that I do have to adjust my categories, make some spaces bigger, spread them out a little bit.
So I kind of just started making piles, which the piles are going to get much bigger when we get to the other side. But these are just like bins and things. Those are like kind of craft dealies. That is my school bag of stuff that all needs to go back to school. So I'm going to need to store that in the closet because I don't go back till August and I need to take all that back. That stuff to go like downstairs. That's just random. And then this is like extra decor and stuff that I kind of swap out. And then over here in the other room, I made a trash pile. This is warped. It's from our kitchen, so we're going to have to take the tracks off on the inside. It's warped and the drawer won't pull out anymore, so we're just going to get rid of it. And then that's a sell pile for right now. Things I know absolutely I don't want. So, oops, sorry. So now that we have that side tackled, which was the easy part. The not so easy part is going to be to pull all of this off. So everything up there next to that blue bin, that stays. That's like personal documents and stuff. Everything up there all the way down to the bottom needs to come out and be sorted and figured out.
So I just started at the top and started pulling things out. And as I was pulling them out, I started putting them in those piles. This was a really tricky one to film. For one, I only have one camera, the one I used for my phone. So I couldn't show you like a second camera of me making those piles. And for two, is a really tight space. Trying to set up the camera and put my body in the closet at the same time was a little bit tricky. So I hope you guys don't mind that some of it might look a little bit crazy, but I did want to share this with you because I love organizing videos, and it really just helps me motivate to organize things in my own home. Falling as I was trying to take everything out. Here I'm just going through some of the craft stuff, and I'm trying to actually make smaller categories of that. I was trying to show you this kind of turntable Lazy Susan thing that I got from Dollar Tree. Actually, it holds your brushes. I am loving this. So I suggest if you are at Dollar Tree and you have a lot of brushes or pens or anything like that, it's definitely worth the $1, and it's pretty sturdy for $1. I also got this toolbox at Dollar Tree, and I had you see some of my tools just in this little cup container, but I really wanted to have it a little bit more functional for me and be able to fit more things in there. We do have lots of different frames that I don't want to get rid of, but I don't necessarily want to hang up, so I'm just taking some of the pictures out of those frames so that I can store the pictures for safekeeping mementos, but I also have the frames available if there's anything else that I want to frame or hang up. Now I'm just working on another shelf, kind of pulling that stuff out. I didn't want to pull everything out at one time. I tried to do kind of like row by row, so I didn't get overwhelmed because there's a lot in this closet. At this point, I was getting a little bit overwhelmed, and I'm like, I have to do something with these piles. Oh my goodness. I have to make them make sense. So I was just moving things around and creating more space for myself too, moving the basement pile back on top of a piece of furniture so I had more space to spread out when I was ready to kind of organize my craft thing. I cannot tell you how many times I opened that teacher bag. So many items needed to go back in there.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.
I hope you guys don't mind the abrupt change of camera angles. Like I said, this was really tricky to film, but I wanted you guys to kind of see all the stuff that was coming out, really, so you understood how much stuff was really in here and how much stuff I had to organize, and just to see the process. So here I am just kind of showing you what we have so far. There's organization in these piles. I swear. It doesn't look like it, but there is. In this part, I was actually talking, but it just was taking too long. So I'm just kind of telling you I have a trash pile, a donate pile. That's a kind of office supply pile. And then I have still that home decor. I have stuff to go to the basement and my crafting stuff, which is that big giant pile in the middle. So then I just decided to kind of start working on the different piles. So here I'm just kind of going through things that I know that I want to make over or craft. And also just organizing a lot of my other craft supplies, my fabrics, my florals, things like that. So just breaking my craft category down kind of into subcategories so I can really start seeing what I have and really start organizing each thing. I also have craft stuff in that little cube organizer that you see. So I'm just going to be pulling out some of those drawers and just adding them to my pile and then going through them when I actually do that particular section. The bottom 3 are actually empty since we moved our games out of there. So it kind of gives me some space to grow. Not that I need to grow, but it does give me some space to grow if I do get more craft items and can't fit them into the closet that I've just organized. Now I'm going to be working on my fabrics. My fabrics and my ribbons, you will see that I tried probably 20 different ways to get this kind of in here and make sense. I don't use fabric very often. You'll see I have a sewing machine I still have yet to use. I'm working on that. But I don't use fabric very often, but I do have some scrap pieces from our wedding and from some projects we did. It's a little bit off camera, but or out of focus, it's off screen. But here I am just kind of working on my ribbons. And I wanted to keep upstairs my most used ribbons, my more neutral kind of colors. And then I took some downstairs into my craft room that were more seasonal that I'm not going to use all the time and I don't really need up in my main crafting space. This was tricky because I feel like I had to move these ribbons around so many times. I wanted them all to fit in this one container, so it was easy for me to just pull the container out when I needed ribbon or rope.
My very crazy, messy craft.
But it took me a while.
So I think that I am going to start with home decor, which goes over here. I might have to move.
So like I said, I'm just starting on the home decor
side as well.
I did have to move some things around. Again, sorry about the angling. This is a very, very tight space in here. I have pallets on the other side and all kinds of things. That's why I don't really craft in here. Originally, when we bought the home, my intention was to like, oh my goodness, this is going to be the great craft room ever, but it is a little snug. Also, I still have lots of stuff for my classroom. Just kind of showing you here's what we have, the finished product, and then I'll be moving on to the craft side of things. Ignore all the classroom stuff in the microwave.
That is all the home decor for now.
But I would love to be able to craft in here, but as you see, it's unfinished. The back wall is crazy.
But now
no
we're going to
drywall up
to craft.
It's just a really tight space.
So crafts is over here.
That's why I don't actually.
So many things from my classroom are still in here too. So
it's more just kind of craft, home decor,
this is kind of my
decoration storage and stuff
right
like
here.
that, and then some other random things too. So I'm glad I have this space. It really helps with my overflow, and especially when I bring things home for my classroom. But I wish I could craft in here. So one day we are going to redo this space and try to make it work for me where I can actually physically craft down here. But until then, I just like to store some of my things down here. I am now back upstairs and I'm just going through some of my office-like stuff to figure out what I want to keep in that closet, what needs to go back into my classroom, and just kind of get things a little bit more organized. That's me just looking around trying to figure out what container can I use for all of these pens and markers. And then I remembered I found these awesome ones from Dollar Tree, so I decided to go ahead and try that to see if that would work for me. And I didn't like the markers in there, so here I am just kind of moving things around a little bit. Now I'm just kind of wiping everything down, just using Mrs. Meyer's cleaner and a rag so that I can start putting things back in. I decided to keep my office stuff on the bottom simply because I don't use it all that often, especially during the summertime. Now I am just taking some of those odds and ends that I want to craft, I want to make over and change, and I plan to use them for future projects, and trying to fit them in the actual craft closet and not the cube organizer. Here I'm just showing you that I'm popping the top off of all my Cricut vinyl. I wanted to use this little wooden crate, but it wouldn't fit with the tops on there. So I just popped all of the tops off and I was able to fit all of my current Cricut vinyl that I own in this little wood crate. I do have a lot of scrap pieces that I keep, so that's what I'm placing next to it. You're gonna see maybe very quickly, because I couldn't get good angles on any of this, but that some things change around. I originally thought I wanted my paints in the middle, and you'll see in a minute that I actually moved them over so that I can have all of my frames and things that I want to actually redo, not just put pictures in. And I can have a space for those other things that I just organized that I wanted to make over. Now I'm just trying to fit all of these frames in here so that I can put those up on the top. In this video, in the clip that you're about to see, I think I had it on the top of the cube organizer, but I ended up moving it all the way to the top because honestly, I don't change my frames out that much. So you'll see this is why I moved my paints over, so that I could put some of these other things right next to the other items that I wanted to craft. So in my mind, it made sense to have 2 cubes full of things that I want to redo and kind of give a revamp to and change, instead of having the paint kind of awkwardly in the middle. This is the finished product. You guys didn't get to see everything because it just was so crazy to fit into this space, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Leave me a comment with any questions or tips or advice or videos that you want to see in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.